Siddur Snippet series is generously sponsored by the Saka family and by Yelad and Avram Foreman. It's great to be back together and to continue where we last left off, and that was the bracha of Shema Koleinu, the last of the middle section of Bakasha. We've gone through the language of Shema Koleinu, very bold, very brazen. We turn to the Ribono Shel Olam and essentially we demand, Shema Koleinu, listen to our voices. Not only our words when we can't articulate or produce words, listen to our voice, the desperation. Listen to the authentic, sincere voice that we are producing. We left off, Kikel Shomei Tfilos v'Tachanunim Ata Hashem. You listen to our Tfilos and Tachanunim. The difference is you listen to the template, the script, the formula, and the Tachanunim. That's not Keva, that's not Kva, not which is fixed and rigid, but which is fluid, which we are additionally inserting, that which originates with us. Milfanecha Malkeinu Reikama Al Teshivenu. Kadosh Baruch Hu, don't turn us away empty-handed. And we shared the insight that Hashem, even if the particular thing I'm asking for, it's not in my best interest to say yes, but don't turn me away empty-handed. At least through the experience of asking, through this audience, through this conversation, let me feel connected, let me feel closer. Sometimes the conversation is not just about the question, but it's about the relationship. I remember a rabbinic mentor of mine telling me that sometimes a person calls with a question. You could have someone else call them back and give them the answer, the halachic question. You could send them a text. There are more efficient or productive ways to get back to someone. What you fail to realize is sometimes someone calls with the question, they're happy to have a question because it's a pretext to make a connection. It's not just about, sometimes they just want to know. They're in Trader Joe's, this obscure hechsher, good or no good. They just want the answer so they can finish shopping and get out of there. Sometimes the person has a question. It's not only about the question is the pretext to create a relationship. It's not just the question, it's not just what we're asking, what we need, the bakasha, but Rekam, don't turn us away empty-handed. Let us minimally feel connected to your Ribono Shel Olam. And then we come to a break, because here, essentially the siddur screams out to us, insert here what you want to. Where does this come from? Shulchan Aruch in Orach Chaim Siman Kuf Yotes writes, Shulchan Aruch writes, if you want to expand, if you want to add from the theme of the bracha in that bracha, someone is sick and needs a speedy recovery, boom, rifa'enu. Somebody needs greater parnasa, you have a business negotiation, a business deal, boom, borech aleinu. You have to write a drasha, you have to write an article, you don't know what to say, boom, atachonin la'adam das. If in the theme of that bracha, says the Shulchan Aruch, no problem. You're not stuck. You don't have to stay only with the text Anshe Knesset Zagedola authored. Put it in your own words. Insert. And that's not a concession. That's not something that we're tolerating. That's actually something admirable. It's the highest level of tefillah. Hashem doesn't want us to just deliver someone else's words, though those words, of course, are precious. Those words are holy. Those words are the perfect platform. But He wants us to build on them, to expand on them, to make it personal and relevant and individual. Ketzad, Zok Shulchan Aruch, Hayalacholim Mevakish Levrachamim. If someone is sick, ask for them to have a refuah shlema. Bebirchas rifa'enu. Hayitzarach parnasa, mevakish le bebirchas hashanim. Uvishomei atfila, yachol lishol, kol tzrachav, shi kolalas kol habakashos. Says the Shulchan Aruch, Shema Koleinu. You have an idea that doesn't fit neatly into the theme of another bracha. Shema Koleinu is your bracha. Before you conclude, ki ata shomea, think about, add, insert. I'm not touching this with a 10-foot pole. The election you think has consequences, in whatever direction you think it has, so there's no bracha, unclear, maybe das, you hope people have das, rifa'enu, you hope somehow we can heal, Shema Koleinu, whatever it is that's going on individually, communally, collectively, nationally, a person inserts it, says the Shulchan Aruch in Shema Koleinu. Now, it's very interesting, and we'll continue to expand on this in coming nights, but the Aruch HaShulchan writes, in the same Siman Kuf Yotes, if Gimel, Lo Yomar Adam Tefillah Kavua B'Shema Koleinu. Sometimes a person has something they need, and they chronically need it, they habitually need it. So now they've essentially altered the bracha Shema Koleinu before Ki Ata Shomea. They have their own text that Hashem help me learn well, Hashem help my marriage, Hashem help my child, Hashem help... Whatever it is they're inserting becomes almost fixed. And now they're adding it into Shema Koleinu such that they're so used to it. Says the Aruch HaShulchan, don't do that. A person should not manipulate or add to the words of Anshe Knesset Gadol. Those words are sacred, sacrosanct. Don't add to them. So, yes, author or include our own individual needs, but not in such a way that they become a pattern, not in such a way that we look like we have fixed tefillah, we've expanded Shema Koleinu. So much so that I saw brought down in the name of the Stipler. The Stipler said that in the bracha of Refuah, of Rifa'enu, Lo yispalo b'chol pa'am al osam cholim, b'chtei shlo tiyat tfilaso k'tfilas anshe knesset gedola. If you have a list of sick individuals you're davening for, divide them in three. Shachar say some, Mincha say some, Marav say some. Don't say the whole list every Shmona Esrei Rifa'enu, because then it just looks like now you've tried to add on to Anshe Knesset Gedola, said the Stipler. So on the one hand, Shema Koleinu gives us license, it's open. We'll talk about in coming nights, Magen Avram, the Mishnah Berurah. Do you say Vidui? If you look in the typical siddur in Shema Koleinu, there's a paragraph you could add if you did something you feel terribly ashamed about or guilty about. There's Vidui in Shema Koleinu, daven for Mizonosav, Parnasa in Shema Koleinu. But whatever we're adding to Shema Koleinu, on the one hand, we're encouraged to add, to individualize, to make it personal, to make it our own, to make it relevant, to make it authentic, to make it tachanunim. But on the other hand, to not create keva of our tachanunim. Don't take whatever that individual need and say it in such a rigid, fixed, habitual way that essentially now you just expanded what appears in the siddur. We'll continue with this in the coming